We are kicking off our SNL50 week right. We've got the one and only Amy Poehler right here. Of course, she joined SNL in 2001. I mean, I love it. There's her booty in mom jeans. Kept us laughing for 7 years in those iconic sketches like Sweater Weather, hosting Weekend Update, and who could forget her absolute spot-on Hillary Clinton. Amy's here to talk all things SNL and to exclusively announce her brand new podcast called Good Hang, which you are a good hang. This is perfect for you.
Thank you. So are you.
Well, let's have a hang right now.
For sure.
Should we talk about the podcast and then SNL, or SNL and then the podcast?
Well, I am excited. It's the first time I'm talking about it here.
Okay, so let's talk about the podcast.
Okay, cool. I saved it for you guys.
Okay, so because you have another podcast. This is different.
Yeah, we're launching a new podcast on Spotify. It's called Good Hang. I think I checked and I'm officially the last person to not have a podcast, so I figured I'd jump in.
Yes, exactly.
But we are really excited. It's going to be an interview podcast. We're going to have a lot of our friends there. It's going to be very fun. These are tough times.
Yeah.
We're just trying to have a good laugh.
So it's not like, tell me about your childhood. We're like, I'm peeling back the layers.
No.
Like, this is just fun.
I think sometimes we ask women to be kind of teachers and healers.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for some good, dumb fun.
Listen, I'm here for that. No gurus, please. I don't want to learn anything.
No, I don't want to. I want to just start getting worse.
I would like to leave dumber.
Yeah.
Can you promise me that?
Yeah. I want to start going down.
Let's go downhill.
We need to laugh, and I feel like, I love the form. I listen to a ton of shows, so I'm excited to get started.
It's fun. I mean, podcasts. It's kind of like the old days of radio. It's fun to see this. Really having a moment, these podcasts. Okay, let's talk about SNL.
Yes.
This is fun. Are you ready for the 50th? And do you know anything about what, if anything, you're doing in this?
I'm absolutely not ready, and I know absolutely nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. It is typical. Yep, it's typical SNL. Today is Monday. The show is Sunday, so of course, nothing's ready.
Do you think there's someone that knows and they're just not telling? Or do you think they're really starting today? The writers are like, so what should we do for this big 50th anniversary show?
I don't know. Maybe there's like a pet turtle that Lauren has told the show to, but no, I think they're putting together. They have a huge amount of ideas.
Yeah.
A ton of people are coming through. I know that. It's been so awesome to be back. And, you know, my class of people, I love them dearly and get to work with them a lot. But just being around all the people that I love and grew up with is so exciting.
It's going to be a blast. So, we're doing our bracket. We're very into brackets.
I saw that, and
here.
I appreciate that you guys voted Mom Jeans so high.
Yes, it's in there. And, I mean, I feel like
it's a Tina Fey special, and I'm happy to see my face in a few of those things.
I know. I feel good about your chances, but what it really brings up is that there's so many good skits.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose a favorite.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're asked all the time.
Yes.
I don't know if you have a favorite, or what are some of the ones that you remember and love?
You know what I just remembered that came to mind, and the great Rachel Dratch just put it on her Instagram, so you can check it out. And if I can do anything, I want to promote Rachel Dratch's Instagram while I'm here.
Yes.
But Emily Spivey, a great writer, wrote it, and it was just one of those It was just a sketch with the incredible Jack Black, where we were just at a Sbarro, and you know, like when the door opens and it's really cold and you get blown around?
Yes.
It was just a sketch about getting blown around. But two things, Rachel Dratch looked like my Nana. So
look at her.
And she's on a high she was on a high wire. And we were laughing. It was so, look at Keenan with a piece in the face. What a pro.
I mean, it's just sometimes it's like the silliest, dumbest little ideas like that are this.
You know how you remember how you feel about something rather than what something actually is?
Yeah.
So I just remember the feeling. It was maybe my third or fourth year in the show. Jack was such an incredible host. Dratch is a very old friend of mine. Like, I just remember thinking, like, I can't believe I have this job.
Like, this is a blast.
Yeah, this is a blast.
And you're like finally not totally nervous. Like,
totally.
Yes.
Yeah. And it took me maybe 3 or 4 more years to actually feel like I was a senior, but this was like a good example of having fun in real time.
Well, it is going to be a blast. We are planning to celebrate right there with you, SNL50.
SNL all week,
We're going for it. And you're co-hosting the 4th Hour with Jenna.
Yes.
Are you ready? Do you need any tips?
I feel like being unprepared is the best way to prepare.
That's how she does it.
Having watched the show a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're okay. You're right.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. And Good Hang launches when? Next month?
Yes.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Yes, and check it out. We're going to have some stuff there as soon as today for you to get a tease of what's going to be coming.
You can subscribe.
And subscribe. And I can't wait to maybe someday talk to you if you ever want to come
Oh, my
on.
gosh. consider me booked.
Okay,
if you really want
fantastic.
me, and if it's one of those let's have lunch things that we never do, that's okay too.
No.
Okay.
I would never do that to
Okay,
you,
I don't know. I'm just very honored to be asked.
Of course.
I would love it. Okay, let's have a good hang.
Yeah, I would
We
love
always
that.
have a good hang.
We always have a good hang.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
Hello, my young one. How was school today?
This wig was ineffective. The kids at school know that I am different from them. It's really bugging me. They want to know where I come from. Daddy, where do we come from?
France.
Okay, that is, of course, the Coneheads from the early days of Saturday Night Live. All week, we will be joined by cast members from different eras of the show leading up to the big SNL 50th anniversary event this Sunday.
Laraine Newman, of course, playing the teenage Connie Conehead, a member of the original cast in 1975, alongside the likes of Chevy Chase, Gilda Radner, and John Belushi.
And she is here to look back on that time, to talk about the big anniversary show. Laraine, welcome back.
Thanks, guys.
Welcome
Thank you.
back.
Nice to meet you.
Back in 1975, when you guys were, getting the show off the ground, when you were starting SNL, did you have any idea then that it would become what it has become now?
Absolutely not. I mean, there are so many people that say, oh, I knew. No, I had no idea. But, we were really just like the redheaded stepchild of NBC. When I came back for the 40th and I saw how the wardrobe department had branched out and what they had, our wardrobe was one room with a bed sheet that separated the women from the men.
Wow.
And with a sign just for Danny that said, must wear underwear. So that's, nobody cared.
Yeah.
We were just the kids in the hall.
Is that true?
Really, yes.
So when did you get a sense that this was going to be this game-changing kind of show? When did you start getting an inkling that you guys were starting to get some momentum?
Well, obviously the level of host and musical guests just got more and more incredible. But to give you an example, because I had no idea who was watching, but I was in the lobby of 30 Rock going to read through, and out of my peripheral vision, I see these forms, and they come into focus, and it's John and Yoko.
Oh.
And as John's passing, he goes, hi, Laraine. Not hi, hi, Laraine.
Wow.
And I was like,
Wow, yeah.
Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So that was, an inkling.
Yeah.
There's so much lore around Saturday Night Live. Like, everybody wants every little crumb of how it happened, what auditions are like. And we all got this movie that kind of showed, I'd love to hear what you think about how accurate it was, but showed how this first episode came to be called Saturday Night from last year. What did you think of it? How accurate, and what was it like for you to see that?
I thought it was so good. It was so entertaining. Jason Reitman, it was a real love letter. I know that he loved the show, and you could feel it. It is a work of fiction.
Yeah.
In the sense that, you see Franken and Davis trying out a sketch right before the show.
Oh.
We don't have to camera block.
Yeah.
Right.
So that kind of stuff. Or Lauren left the studio and went to a bar. That could never have happened.
Right.
But just the energy, and I thought the actors were so good. The actor that played me, I had seen her in a British show. And I noticed her, and when I found out she was playing me, I was just very excited.
You are, in addition to being an original member of SNL, you're from the Groundlings. And for folks who aren't familiar with the Groundlings, it's a legendary theater group out of L.A. It's given us stars like Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell. Our next question actually comes from a Groundlings alum. Perhaps you remember this gentleman.
Hi, Laraine. It's Will Forte. We are both alums of the Groundlings Theater. So I want to know, how did your training at the Groundlings prepare you most for SNL? Also, would you please answer in your Celine Dion voice?
You rascal! Okay, well, the structure of the show was exactly the same. You are on stage in a costume, you're on stage You change, you come back.
I just snorted.
That was the structure of the Groundlings show et la même chose for SNL.
Wow. And obviously comedy runs in the family. Hannah Einbinder, your daughter, one of the stars of Hacks. That must give you great pleasure and pride.
It's really, but the fashion, the clothes that she gets.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's a great picture.
Yeah,
Laraine, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
So good to see you. Congrats.
Such a pleasure.
So
Thank you.
And thanks for giving us SNL. Thank you.
It was all me.
Yeah. Lauren who? Our countdown to SNL50 rolls on all week. Tomorrow, we'll be talking with another former cast member, Nora Dunn. All leading up to, of course, that big anniversary special on Sunday, February 16th, here on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
We are back with a countdown to SNL50, and this morning we're joined by another standout veteran of that iconic show, Anna Gasteyer. She kept us laughing for 6 seasons. Of course, she gave us her take on Martha Stewart. We all love the NPR radio host, and of course, this middle school music teacher.
It's got no brain.
I feel like I'd be doing America if we just rolled the whole thing right now.
You know what? They never show them because the rights are too expensive for music. So I would be delighted if you did.
It's just, it's so funny. How did you not just look at Will and totally lose it?
It's by far the most joyful of all the sketches I worked on SNL because we wrote it with the incredible Paula Pell, who's such a genius in her own right, and we would laugh hysterically all night long. We famously would procrastinate for hours and hours and hours, and then we would start writing Bobby and Marty. And then Will often was rushing, because he was in so many sketches, and that beard and mustache pate would be just spirit gummed on. And so if you started laughing with him, he couldn't break. So he would go like, which of course would make me laugh even harder.
I know. You actually, you're stoic. Like the fact that I think you've got to be one of the ones that's rarely broke.
I'm pretty good at not breaking.
Did you ever break?
One set dress. That was it.
I mean, that's incredible.
I kind of dig deeper, like if I can, because I know I try to play through it because I'm sort of the old school. I want it to be funnier by playing it honest. But Will, again, when he breaks, and it was this crazy donkey sketch that ultimately did make it to air. It was called Riding My Donkey. It was during the Monica Lewinsky scandal.
Oh, God.
And it was a bunch of news commentators sitting on donkeys and debating politics. And the donkeys went insane. And went to all the wrong cameras. And Will's amazing because when he breaks, again, it's the funniest thing in the world because he'll keep going, but he just has tears just streaming down his face. So it was that. And I remember I was doing I can't remember who it was a newscaster from CNN, and the whole impression was just like a smile. And I kept losing it and having to go back and forth. Anyway, that was the only time. But then I held it together for air.
I mean, it's incredible because some of these sketches are just so iconic. Like, we have to play the NPR. I think we have a little clip. We're going to play it. You know the one, right?
I do.
Okay, can we just roll a little bit? I'm going to try not to say.
Turns out that I had accidentally taken Jeff Peabody's.
Well, over at Seasons Eatings, we have balls for every taste. Popcorn balls, cheese balls, rum balls, you name it.
Wow. My mouth's watering just thinking about those balls.
It's been years since I've seen any balls.
All right. I've seen it 1,000 times. I watched the whole thing this morning. It's just so ridiculous. But that's what I'm saying. Like, your genius is, how could anyone? It's superhuman that you did not start cracking up.
We almost did on that one. The audience went so unexpectedly insane because we had done those characters a few times, but the genius of putting them in that situation where they were speaking in such deep double entendre, like the audience went crazy.
Did you? I hate asking this question because it's just people say, "Oh, do you have a favorite interview?" No, I don't. But do you have a favorite sketch? There, I did. I said it.
You did it.
Yeah. Sorry.
They're all like your. It's so gross, but they are like your kids.
Yeah.
Like you become so attached to through the joy of the experience of coming up with them. And so much of the experience is like the Tuesday night on Saturday Night Live when you're under so much pressure, you're so anxious, you think, oh my God, I'm never going to think of another sketch in my life.
And you guys, I think a lot of people don't know how it works behind the scenes. Like, you guys as cast members, you kind of pitch your sketches, don't you?
We all wrote, at least during my generation, that was very much, and especially those of us who come from like the Groundlings, which is a writer, a writer-performer. It's really more of a writer-performer tradition. Most people at Saturday Night Live are writing and working, and many of the writers are performers in their own right as well, as like Tina Fey, and you know, famously ascended through the writers' side of things, and Colin Jost and Jason Sudeikis. I mean, lots of people have done that. So it's kind of cool. But anyway, so Tuesday night is you're like, oh my gosh, we have no show on Saturday. We have to come up with something. And it's just all like finals week all the time for a class that you haven't studied for.
It feels like they're almost kind of doing that for the SNL50. I mean, I'm sure there's plans.
I'm sure they are.
Nobody seems to know them at all.
Well, the tradition of the show is real live television. It's coming together in an immediate and topical way, and the show is being written as we speak, and every 5 minutes we're getting phone calls. You might be in this thing, but you might not be, and it's very organic, I guess would be the term.
Are you excited for this weekend?
So excited.
Do you know what you're doing?
Well, I know for sure that we're doing something. Bobby and Marty are doing something in the concert on Friday night at the Peacock. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that.
Oh, yay. Well, I think it's at Radio City.
At Radio City, there's this massive music concert, which is going to be mind-blowing. Forget about me, but it's like the best bands from American culture from 50 years are performing. It is mind-blowing.
I know. Listen, Today's Showcast gets to go, and they're streaming it on Peacock and stuff. Everybody can see it Friday night.
So that's Friday night, and then Sunday is the live broadcast at 8H, so during prime time. And I have heard rumors of a couple things I might be doing, but I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to say that one of the reasons why you're so often singing in these sketches is because you have a phenomenal voice, and I just don't want to let you go without mentioning that you also played Elphaba in Wicked on Broadway.
Yeah, I just finished actually a run on Broadway in Once Upon a Mattress, and I played Queen Agravain. It was incredibly fun. The original Broadway cast recording is coming, so listen for that if you're a Broadway fan.
I mean, it's incredible.
It's been the privilege of my life to do both of these dreams. I always dreamt of being on Broadway, and I always dreamt of being on Saturday Night Live. And now it's nice because in the digital world, like when I was on SNL, it was so pre-digital. So it all kind of existed on its own terms. And frankly, even when I played Elphaba, it was pre-digital. But now I feel like that's the one good thing about the internet is that it does let sort of the Venn diagram of your life fuse together a little bit, so people can see you as more than one thing, which is nice.
It's amazing, and it's just fun to go back and watch. I mean, just if you need a lift today, go watch some Anna sketches. They're so darn good.
Well, it was the joy of my life, so I'm glad that they brought joy to other people.
Are you ready for Jenna? That's another joy of your life. You're going to co-host this with the Mostess?
Yep, we're going to talk about books and fitness, and all the things that matter.
It's fun. You guys should be the two. You should do like your own NPR co-host thing.
Happily.
I think she'd be good at that.
She'd be great at it.
Yeah, but she'd probably laugh. All right, we want to mention you can catch SNL50, the anniversary special on Sunday night. Fun starts at 7 Central here on NBC. Peter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Candy Sweeney.
And I'm Liz Sweeney.
And we're the Sweeney Sisters. And you know, the only good thing about saying goodbye, there's always a hello waiting around the corner somewhere.
Either that or a grocery store.
I just want to keep hearing this skit. Welcome back. We are continuing our week-long celebration of SNL as we count down to the big 50th anniversary special with that blast from the past, a fan-favorite sketch from the 1980s.
Nora Dunn, as we just saw, played one half of the Sweeney Sisters during her 5 seasons on the show from 1985 to 1990, just one in a range of original, unforgettable characters.
That's right. Nora went on to act in hit shows including The Nanny, New Girl, Chicago Med, and she's back here to look back at her time on SNL. Yeah. Nora, thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, can we talk about some numbers? Listen to this. 50 seasons, over 160 cast members, over 900 episodes, thousands of sketches, thousands of characters. You know, as SNL marks this 50th anniversary, you look back at that. You look back at yourself in that dress and that hair. What do you think about?
I feel like I was on the 1930s, right after the Depression. But no, yeah, it's, you know, I was thinking the other day, my niece is coming to the show with me this weekend. Fun. And she was born in 1985. That was my first year. That was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And I always tell people I think it was like 10 years ago because I couldn't possibly be that old. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. I don't think there's been a show that was on for 50 years.
You mentioned 1985, the year you started. It was also, I mean, it's hard to believe SNL ever was in question, but that was a year where it was in question. You know, people didn't know if it was going to continue.
We were well known as the worst cast of 1985.
Really?
Well, I didn't think we were coming back. But
Why? What was the atmosphere like?
I thought it was fine. I was oblivious because I thought it was going very well. But yeah, we had a lot of actors in the show, but they weren't comedians. They didn't come out of improv. And then when you're on the show, you're going to end up writing a lot of your own material, and you've got to work with other people who do improv and then create these characters. And we didn't really have that going on enough. And Dana Carvey wasn't there. You know, he came on the next season and everything turned around.
Okay.
It started to pop. You obviously had a great run, 5 years at it. Famous. We played at the Sweeney Sisters, an unforgettable set of characters here. We had one of the original cast members here, by the way. Laraine Newman was just here, and she has a question for you. Take a listen.
Hi, Nora. It's Laraine. I loved your Sweeney Sisters sketch. How did you and Jen Hooks get so synchronized with so little time to rehearse?
What a good question. Yeah, it was amazing.
Well, we did drugs in those days. But
helps get everybody on the same page.
I watched those and I don't know. I think it was one of those things where you had to do it, and we really couldn't look at our cue cards too much. But I was watching those. We opened up the Emmy Awards. We were the opening act 60, 70 years ago. And I thought, wow, I can't believe we did that. Yeah. I couldn't do it now. Maybe it has something to do with, you know, we were young and reckless and you know.
Yeah. You had such great chemistry with all of your colleagues, but you also had good chemistry with some of the guests we know.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have anyone that you think back on, maybe favorites? Tom Hanks, maybe?
Well, Tom Hanks was our brother. He was our baby brother. And he just fit right in. I mean, he was a cast member. Yeah. Mary Tyler Moore was one of my absolute favorites. She walked in. We have a host comes in on Monday, and they're introduced, and we give some ideas. And she walked in and she said, "I don't care what I want to do. I don't care what I do on the show. I want to be a Sweeney sister."
Really?
And I had to be revived. I was like, so yeah, we loved working with her. Dolly Parton. Those are fantastic shows, and we didn't have a lot of female sketches and female. So when we had a woman on, it was a big deal, and they were always so strong.
Yeah, it's amazing to think how far the show has come in that regard, right?
Yeah.
Well, we're so happy to have you here. We're so happy to have you as we celebrate this, and our countdown to SNL50 continues tomorrow with former cast member Rachel Dratch. It's all leading up to the big anniversary special this Sunday, February 16th, right here on NBC and streaming, of course, on Peacock.
By the way, it's official. I can't have children.
Kind of hard to be Debbie Downer when you're breaking up. That, of course, one of Rachel Dratch's many unforgettable characters.
She spent 7 seasons on the show, playing everything from one of the lovers with Will Ferrell to a brash Boston teenager opposite Jimmy Fallon.
And she is here to look back on that time as we count down to this weekend's huge SNL's 50th anniversary special. Rachel, good morning.
Hi, hello.
I mean, as a fan, we can't get enough of Debbie Downer, especially when you broke character. Why do you think we like that so much?
Well, before I was ever on the show, I used to like that too. I remember like Chris Farley and the Van Damme Mother and David Spade and Christine Applegate. Like, as an audience member, you love that, but as a cast member, you try not to break. Like, it's kind of a cheap trick because you know the audience is going to go nuts. So you really try not to. As you can see, I think part of why that caught on so much is because the struggle of trying not to laugh is as funny as cracking up.
Is it true Lauren would get mad when you guys broke?
I don't know. I never got a talking to. I think if you did it like again and again, you'd probably get a kind of a side eye. But I don't really. I think that might be a myth. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him this weekend in the middle of the proceedings.
Rachel, you've been in hundreds of these sketches. Do you ever come across an old clip or something you're like, wait, I have no memory of that at all?
Yes. And I mean, I have a pretty good memory, so I'm not one of these people. But there's things like when you're some side character or so, like there's things I definitely don't remember doing, which I'm not proud of. Yeah.
So let's see how good your memory is.
Okay.
Did you ever play a Christmas ornament?
I don't think I did.
True. In season 26, Lucy Liu was hosting. You were indeed a Christmas ornament. All right.
How can I forget that costume? It's amazing.
I don't know, but
How
there
fun
you go.
for you to get to watch something you
so
forgot.
fun.
All right,
Okay.
next. Were you ever a stressed out seamstress?
No.
True. In season 30, with host Hilary Swank.
Okay, no memory of that.
All right. A sarcastic garden gnome.
Yeah?
Fake! You did not play a garden gnome.
That would be a good character.
Okay.
No. I was an elf. I was an elf.
All right,
with
that's
Alec
close.
Baldwin.
That's
okay.
close.
Okay.
A lighting store salesperson.
No.
True. In season 31 with Antonio Banderas.
Oh, yeah, the chandeliers.
Yes.
Chandeliers. Okay, yeah.
Fred Armisen
Yes,
did.
that I remember.
And
yeah.
then finally, did you ever play a dancing cheeseburger?
Dancing cheeseburger. No.
That is correct. You
you got
played a dancing cheeseburger.
Okay.
That's so fun. I mean, can you go back and watch those clips and enjoy, like the ones you remember,
Yeah.
and enjoy them as much as we do?
Yeah, I mean, because it was just so fun being on the show, and like I said, there's little moments you forget or things you remember, and you're like, oh my god, that was so fun. Or the cast. I mean, we all, when you bump into everyone, all the stuff leading up, like seeing everyone. Like I just got to see Sherry O'Terry last night. I haven't seen her in years. It's just so fun to remember all those fun times. Yeah.
So when you hang out with your former castmates, I mean, you've got quite the group of friends: Amy Poehler, Anna Gasteyer, Maya Rudolph, Tina Fey. When you're all in a room, is it like joke, 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 or is it like girl talk?
Okay, it's joke, joke, joke in the best way, but we're not like always on. Like you can have real girl talk. We rely on each other for life's ups and downs for sure. But then you are also with the funniest people, so that helps.
Well, it is a testament to you because almost every cast member I've talked to said when you're talking about sheer comedy and writing and characters, their favorite is Rachel Dratch. So
Well, I don't know who you talked to, but thank you.
I'll give you names later.
Thank you.
Of course, you won't remember them.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Rachel is going to come back in our 4th hour. And then tomorrow, current SNL cast member Heidi Gardner will be stopping by, all leading up to our big anniversary special Sunday, February 16th, right here on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
Hey, Crystal, can you just tell me one thing you do?
Yeah, okay, look. All right, so look at my spreadsheets, okay? These are all emails I've received.
Great, thanks.
Now do you understand?
No, I don't. No, I don't understand. Where do you work?
In the weeds.
That, of course, was your coworker who's extremely busy doing nothing, one of the many relatable characters that our next guest has brought to Saturday Night Live.
Heidi Gardner was once named most likely to be on SNL by her high school classmates, and they were right. She's currently the longest-running female cast member on SNL with 8 seasons under her belt.
Well, she's here to look back on her time on the show, talk about the big anniversary special this weekend. Heidi, good morning.
Good morning.
So what is it like? I mean, as you get ready for this, I mean, there's so much anticipation. Does it cause you some angst?
Angst, well, the first 2 letters, anxiety. I'm very, I'm just anxious. The scope, the amount of people, I get starstruck. So I know that that's going to happen this weekend, and words are just going to come out that aren't going to form a sentence, and that's going to be my weekend.
It makes me feel better because I get that way sometimes around here. So
And you've got this. I mean, we've had this just parade of SNL
so cool.
alum.
Yes.
I mean, we've had Rachel Dratch, Amy Poehler, Laraine Newman, and on that list is Heidi Gardner. How does that feel?
It's the dream that you would dream but never dream because it doesn't seem possible. And then to be at the 50th, to already be on SNL is crazy. Sure. And then to be here for the 50th is like, why did this happen?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's go back to before you were on SNL. I hear you were a hairdresser.
Yeah.
Which doesn't really seem, you know, like hairdresser to SNL, but I'd imagine a lot of people open up to you
Oh my
as a
gosh.
hairdresser.
Yes. I mean, that cliche is true. Like, it is a therapist's chair for sure. And, you know, I felt bad because I didn't really tell my clients I was doing character work because I didn't want them to think I had like dueling passions. You know, like you need to be focused on hair. We know. And, but yes, I was just taking their lives and turning them into characters. I had a client who, you know, she was like, she was basically a pudding saleswoman. Like she was selling pudding. She would love for me to say this. And so I incorporated that, a lot of pudding work into my sketches.
Pudding work.
Yes, pudding work.
Okay, one of the sketches, I mean, this just got us all laughing and was everywhere on the internet. The Beavis and Butthead sketch.
Yeah.
But also really you in that sketch and the way that you break, that moment right there, you breaking.
Yeah.
We actually,
you were all of us.
You were all of us, and we have a familiar face who wants to ask you something about it.
Hi, Heidi. It's Rachel here. You and I were both in scenes that were notorious for a big crack-up. Debbie Downer and Beavis and Butthead. So I want to know what set you off laughing and what was going through your mind when you lost it. I would have lost it, too, in that scene.
It's such a good question.
Mikey Day is like family to me. He's like my brother. So looking back and seeing him, I think he looks, you guys, I think he looks like a kangaroo. And I just, looking back and seeing like
I can see that.
my bonus brother look like a kangaroo, and it still gets me, and I don't, it makes me mad that it
And
still
then we
breaks
see
me.
you laughing and we laugh harder.
Yes.
But you don't really want to break.
Yeah, you know, and I know that's like just some hang up I had where I'm just like, I'm serious, but I'm on SNL.
Yeah.
But that makes me so happy that was the time when it finally happened for me, that it was, that I broke for probably a minute and a half. And that's what was running through my head was like, oh my God, I'm eating up a lot of sketch time.
I can't.
Yes.
You know, you were also part of that crazy Domingo
Oh my God.
Yes.
bridesmaid sketch. What was...
So
when I mean, it went viral, like crazy viral. Did you, at the moment, did you realize this thing was going to go nuts like this?
No, you never know, and that's why it's like we loved that sketch. It was so much fun for everybody. But you know, you hold these sketches so tight, they're your babies. You're like, you want them to soar, you know. But like, the more you let something go and you have no expectations, you know, then this happens. Domingo happens. Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
I know you're a huge sports fan.
Yes, I am.
Sorry about the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm very fortunate. The Chiefs are amazing, always.
Yes.
Always.
Yes, despite the Super Bowl outcome. But you actually say to yourself, you know, maybe when you're a little nervous or a little anxious, what would Patrick Mahomes do?
Oh, yeah.
How does that help you?
It just helps me harness this, like, bravery, power, for sure, fearlessness. I've had to do some things on SNL where, you know, they throw you in and it's like you haven't rehearsed it. And I want to be like, I haven't done this. We didn't do a rewrite. And then I'm like, what would Mahomes do? He would play. He would go and play no matter what.
But what would it be like being in bed? What was it like being in bed with Travis Kelce? Because you're such a huge...
You just go out there and play. You know? It was awesome. And I think I was probably like, what do you eat on game day? And then, you know, like it was just, I'm perpetual little sister to any sort of athlete. I want to know all the rituals, the discipline, what it takes to be. Yeah.
Heidi, it's so great having you here.
So
Congratulations.
Enjoy this weekend.
Thank you.
And don't forget, our countdown to SNL50 wraps up tomorrow. Kevin Nealon stopping by. And, of course, a reminder, the big anniversary special, Sunday, February 16th, right here on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
Let us begin by introducing ourselves. I am Hans.
And I'm Franz.
And we want to pump you up.
It never gets old. Oh, man. Hans and Franz from Saturday Night Live, one of Kevin Nealon's most memorable characters.
Yeah, he earned an Emmy for his work on SNL. He spent 9 seasons there, also playing the brutally honest Mr. Subliminal, and, of course, as you know, serving as Weekend Update anchor.
Well, Kevin is here to look back at his time in the show as we approach this weekend's big SNL 50th anniversary special. Kevin, we love having having you here this morning.
I love being here. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be in New York for this big 50th.
Yeah, and it's not just you. I mean, it's years and years of former castmates.
Wait a minute.
And cast
You're saying
members.
it's not just me? Hold on a minute.
You thought you were running the whole special.
I thought it was about me.
50 years with Kevin Nealon.
Chunk of it is. Yes, it is. It's going to be amazing.
I mean, what's it going to be like for everybody to reunite? Have you seen a lot of these folks over the years?
I see like some of the people from my cast, Dana Carvey and Adam Sandler and John Lovitz, David Spade, and Nora Dunn once in a while. But I see other people too through the other generations too. So it's kind of fun. It will be like a family reunion of sorts.
And in fact, Dana is one of your closest friends.
Yeah.
You love him. Besides the Hans and Franz, you actually credit him with getting you on the show.
Help me again with your name.
Roper.
Al Roper. I love that TV show. Yeah, Dana and I were friends. We're friends, and he got selected to be on that show because he does characters and accents, and so he goes off to New York, and 2 weeks later, I get a call from him. Kev, I'm out at Lorne Michaels' house. I'm in the back bedroom. Guess who's in the kitchen? Bill Murray. No. Anyway, Lorne is looking for one more cast member. I told him about you, and I think he's going to want to see your audition tape. I go, Bill Murray's in the kitchen? You know what I'm saying? Now, I wasn't buying into that. I don't do characters or accents. I do, I'm just a stand-up, a really, really good stand-up. You'll see. I'll show you. So I sent my audition tape in. 2 weeks later, I get another call from Dana. Kev, I'm back out at Lorne Michaels' house. I'm in the back bedroom. Guess who's in the kitchen? Steve Martin. No. Lorne, like your tape. They're going to fly you in for an audition. Steve Martin's in the kitchen. Anyway, I fly in for an audition, and I do it, and I go back to L.A., and 2 weeks later, I'm sitting in an office in Beverly Hills across from Lorne. He's offering me a job on SNL. Wow. And I said, thank you very much, Mr. Michaels. Let me think about it over the weekend.
Shut up. Shut up.
So he said, think about it over the weekend. That's how I negotiate the deal. That's how I massage it. How do you think I ended up on the Today Show? I massaged it.
That's it.
That's a great story. So all this week, we've been having guests answer questions that have been left by other SNL guests. So this is the question for you. This is from Heidi Gardner. Take a look.
Hey, Kevin, it's Heidi. I love you so much. Also, during your time in the cast, what did a typical Sunday look like for you?
This is what a Sunday looked like for me.
Recovering from the after party.
Recovering. I never wanted to go to those after parties because I wanted to have a Sunday. But I always had friends and guests coming into the show, which is the most difficult part of doing that show, is making sure they all got in, they got seats.
About them.
Yeah, and then I'm out there going, I don't know my lines. I should not have spent that much time with them. But so, yeah, they all want to go to the after party. And I'm like, no. And then we go, and I'm home like at 4 in the morning.
And your Sunday's shot.
And my Sunday is shot, and the whole week is shot. I take a long time to recover. Al, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Those ragers.
Al Roper.
They're the bed.
We couldn't have a weekend update anchor here in the studio without getting a little weekend update. Do you have anything that maybe you could drop on us?
Sure.
You want a camera? I think Mr. Nealon needs a camera.
Right over here.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Well, congratulations to Lorne Michaels on the 50th anniversary of SNL. Now, there's talk that Lorne is working on an autobiography. In fact, its title is My 50 Years at 30 Rock, Trying to Avoid an Elevator Ride with Al Roker. I'm Kevin Nealon, and that's news to me.
and he has. I've never met him.
You never met him?
Actually, I haven't.
Al, you fooled us.
We could just talk to him. I wish we had more time. It was so nice to have you here.
We do have more time. I said to Tom Hanks once, I said, what's missing in your life? He goes, time.
Yeah,
there you go.
It's true. Kevin, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you over the weekend.
Drop a little knowledge.
We can't wait for it.
Yeah.
The wait is almost over, guys. Don't miss SNL's big 50th anniversary special. It's this Sunday, February 16th, right here on NBC, and of course, streaming on Peacock.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.